are you? Nice to see you. We talk about decor of our homes from time to time.
Do you have any country in yours?
Our last house was all country.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. We went sort of nuts over the whole situation. How about you?
No, I don't have any country.
Not at all, huh?
Just cowboy.
Just cowboys. We got a lot of people out there who do, and we all love the charm of country decorating. But if you find yourself surrounded by little duckies and piggies and cows, you may have gone just a little hog wild.
All right, but don't worry. You can take the cute out of country and get that livestock out of your living room with a little help from the Laura Ashley Guide to Country Decorating and home stylist Christine Altman.
Hi, Christine. Nice to see you.
Coming in.
Bonnie, how are you?
So, we're going to really transform what we have here because, now, country was very, very popular in, what, the mid to late 80s?
Very, very popular in the 80s.
A lot of people were doing it, and but perhaps we need to update it a little bit.
Definitely. But what we want to emphasize here is that country is not dead. And obviously for Laura Ashley, it's a big focus for us. But what we want to say is that country is going into a whole other level for the 90s. We're going to look at it a little bit more stylishly, select our accessories a little bit differently, and tone down our colors.
Now, is this true about getting this livestock out, or the duckies and piggies?
Get the ducks, get the cows,
so get rid of
them out.
The animals go. Okay.
How many people in the audience have ducks and pigs and chickens? By your applause. Did anybody? Yeah, see there? All right, so there are different styles of country. There's English country, right?
There's English country, there's French country, there's Italian country, all kinds of country. But in any country, what they're starting to move towards is being a little bit more selective on your accessories, not a whole lot of novelty items around.
Okay, not a lot of clutter then.
Correct. Okay.
I've noticed even going to Ethan Allen a lot looking at furniture, they used to be totally country, and they're sort of updating their look as well, so obviously they've got the word, and they're setting the signal out as well.
You're going to start to see that with a lot of decorating people.
Let's start off with the drapes here. This is typical country, isn't it?
Nice stencil on there. It's
very typical country. It's very flouncy, it's very frilly, a lot of ruffles, which we're going to start to move away from. It's very monochromatic.
So we're going to get rid of this, huh?
Right, we're going to take this right out.
All right.
And we're going to show what a little bit of color can do for room.
Now, the colors of country really were kind of that greenish, bluish, pinkish, mauvish sort of stuff.
No, we're going to go to a little bit more muted, neutral
yellow. That's what we need,
background.
more yellow.
And what we've done here is still with a full window treatment, what we've done is create a focal point just out of the window. We've actually framed it out and made it almost like a piece of artwork.
Okay.
I like that.
That's
now,
the first thing.
Let's talk about this. We mentioned clutter. We mentioned cows and ducks and things.
Rabbits.
We want to lose this, right?
Right, because what we can do is emphasize this great piece of furniture that we have. The whole idea about toning down is keeping those big things that we still have.
I like this. Are we going to lose this too?
Yeah, we're going to lose that too.
Yeah, that's neat.
Right. And
go away here a second.
What we've got here...
I see I can hear the audience likes that, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's a real simple dried flower arrangement. Instead of having all the colors that you would normally see in a country dried floral arrangement, we've toned it down, put it in a nice American handcrafted piece of pottery, and we've still stuck with a great conversation piece that you might have purchased at a local flea market. I know I spend a lot of time there and at antique shows.
And you've got stuff that you just don't want to get rid of.
Oh, absolutely. You've got a great pine table here, and even the country box underneath. Don't get rid of that. These are things that you've invested in. But what we're doing is we're showing these pieces a little bit more as a focus point.
Okay.
And as a guy who likes to clean, you know, you got to pick up all those other pieces. Yeah, see, I got two pieces to pick up here, and it's easy. Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to talk about our artwork over here, so why don't we step down in this neck of the woods.
You know, and he's true about cleaning. You love to clean.
I love it. It's very therapeutic. Now, this is a nice picture. I happen to really like this, but does this make it just a little too frou-frou-y for this look?
I think the whole folk scene is really on the trend out. Obviously, if you've invested in your artwork, don't completely get rid of it, but maybe switch it to another wall and not make it the big focus of the room.
Okay, so we're taking this
down. Switch these down.
Anxious to see what comes instead. Right.
Oh, there you go.
And one thing in decorating that we can say is that for sure, instead of using florals as a main, sorry about that.
That's what I like about doing this kind of TV, you know? Yeah. I'll just stand here for the rest of my life.
This could take a while.
You got the idea, folks.
Yeah.
Instead of using florals as your main fabric in the room, perhaps on the sofa and on your drapes like we used to see in the 80s, we're going to use it more as accent pieces to work well with those muted tones that we're going towards, the softer palettes of the 90s.
Okay, that's nice.
Very nice. Now let's take a look at this couch. Once again, typical country. This I've seen.
Needlepoint pillows. How many times have you seen this crocheted Afghan? We all have one from our grandmother or the aunt.
So this is going away, huh?
Absolutely going to remove them. You know, removing the ruffles.
This really was a very nice warm look to it. So we're not taking away that warmth of country, are we?
Absolutely not. And as you can see underneath, what we've got here is a great tapestry throw.
That's nice.
This is another one of those great purchases that you can pick up at your craft fairs or your local antique shows or even a garage sale. What I've done is I've taken this tapestry throw, and I've added a trim to the edge. Trim is very big for the 90s, and this happens to be a natural jute trim.
Wow.
Which kind of keeps in theme with the whole country look.
And we still kept our needle point, too, so we don't have to get rid of it. It's just kind of changing it.
And what we've done is add that jute trim to the pillows as well. Pillows are a terrific way to update. Very inexpensive, and you can still keep the needle points, but don't do the seams. Maybe get a couple florals from your grandmother.
And once again, you've been able to keep the couch that you had, didn't have to change the
Right. This is a great
material.
classic styled sofa, typical stripe. It's you know, you can work very well with it with checks or textures or anything. It's a very typical Laura Ashley striped couch.
I'm noticing a lot of floral within this new country look. Is that the push in this?
Well, you know, floral is not dead, but I think in the 80s we saw so much of it. You can get too much of a good thing. And as I said, what we want to do is maybe take the florals and use them as accents instead of the focus in the room.
Okay, that's interesting.
Let's talk about our rug down here.
Right. Well, with floor covering, you can get very folksy. You can do a lot of braided rugs and things like that. But if you have hardwood floors, expose them. And if you don't, put a sisal down. And what I've decided to do here is put down an oriental. People think of Orientals as being nothing but formal, but that's not the case. Orientals, if you go into any English country manor home, that's all they're going to have. Wow. They're a nice way to add color.
We have seen more sisal on this show over the last couple of months.
Is that something that's coming for the 90s? Well, here we are halfway through the 90s, but is that really...
No, sisal is an understated floor covering, and the nice thing about it is that if you do have Orientals or you have other throw rugs you want to put down, what you've done is created a layering look, and it's really kind of neat.
And the feeling I'm getting from this, Christine, is the fact that the mixing and matching of maybe some more, well, eclectic as well as more modern pieces work in this as opposed to before you kind of felt out of place doing that.
Right. And I think, too, in the 90s, what we're talking about is a sophisticated country. And the way to make your country sophisticated is to get that eclectic look. Don't feel like you have to have all pine furniture or all mahogany furniture. That's the whole look. That's the whole idea, is mix and match woods with metals and mahoganies with pine. And it's all about personalizing your country look.
All right, let's move on down here. We have some more items, which I have a feeling you're going to want us to sort of 86 here.
Oh, definitely. What you see here is your basic embroidered tablecloth, which you might have picked up or had from your grandmother as well.
Birdhouses.
Lots of birdhouses, lots of ducks, lots of crafty folk art from the 80s.
Our pig.
Right.
Going away, huh?
Absolutely going away.
We're going to pass these to you, Mark.
The country plaid tablecloth. Whoops.
Watch out for the pig.
And we're going to
this up.
go ahead and pop this right off. And underneath what we have is a solid damask tablecloth in a neutral tone.
And down
underneath,
here, we have to reveal that we got rid of the bird house.
Bird houses, but let's do some bird cages. Here we can place that right on the floor, Bonnie.
Oh, it goes on the floor.
Sure.
Okay,
Really?
It's a little high for
a little high for the table, I think.
You know what? We had a lady come in our house recently and do something like that, an arrangement on the floor, and I'd never really seen that before, but yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Well, I think, too, if you can use an accessory table for exactly what it is, which is, here, we'll move this over here.
Yeah, help us here.
Okay.
We need the 3. Is that
sure?
You're thinking 3s?
Well, it's not even in 3s. I think the nice thing about an accessory table is that it's an opportunity to display things that are something you might be interested in collecting, whether it's porcelain bottles, boxes, anything like that. It's a great way to show your friends what you're interested in. And what I've done here is taken a few candlesticks, put them together, put on a nice reading lamp and a few books that I collected these are a great thing to pick up at garage sales, anything like that.
Wow.
And the books like this would be all right. It's sort of a relaxed look.
Oh, absolutely. And as far as the tablecloth is concerned, all we've done is add a nice fringe to the bottom. If you already have a solid tablecloth, add the fringe. As I said, trim is big, big, big for the 90s.
And why don't we add this in to tie into the drapes and lose that pillow there.
Sure.
And let's look at the before picture as we started this segment just a few moments ago.
Okay, here's our old country.
Yeah, and now take a look at the new country. Yeah, I really like the difference. Audience, what do you think? Do you approve of what's going on?
Same kind of colors.
Very nice.
Really changed it. Yeah. nice.
We changed the look, but we didn't have to get rid of everything. We kept the major pieces.
Right, and that's very important. Keep your classic, traditional pieces that have been around for a while, or even things that you don't want to reinvest in. I mean, if you have a great sofa like this, it's very easy to work with it. Very, very easy.
Great segment.
Yeah,
Thank you, Christine. Hey, if you'd like to learn more about these decorating tips, well, you got to get our newsletter. But coming up next, the dynamic duo of do-it-yourselfers, Jean and Katie Hamilton. They're back, and they'll be back right after this.